went to the mall to see Santa. Turns out he is not there during April. And I mean, I figured Easter, Christmas, they're both holidays about Jesus. What's the difference? Well, I settled for a picture with the Ether Bunny. Moral of the story is, I figured I could just draw stuff out instead of naming it. It's very effective.
Dwight, I need to ship this to corporate, but I don't know what it's called. There's only a picture.
You idiot, Jim! And let me teach you something for once in your life.
To correctly name the compounds, we need to first go over the basics. Let's start off with the prefixes. Prefixes are based off the number of carbons in the longest chain. Meth is 1, eth is 2, prop is 3, bute is 4, pent is 5, hex is 6, hept is 7, oct is 8, non is 9, and dec is 10. Next, we should go over the roots. Roots refer to the bond structure in the chain. The root ane means that there are all single bonds between the carbons. Ene means that there is at least one double bond, and ine means that there is at least one triple bond. Now, let's look at the molecule Jim needs help naming. We should first start off by finding the longest chain, which in this case happens to be 7 carbons. We need to figure out which way to number the chain, right or left. We always want to number in the orientation that the sum of the numbers of the functional groups is as small as possible. Seeing this, we should number the molecule left to right as the sum of 3 and 4 is smaller than 3 and 5. Going off what we know, this is a 7-carbon chain with 1 double bond after the 4th carbon, and we know that the hydrogens are on opposite sides of the double bond, so it is named as trans. We also see a single side group on the 3rd carbon. For naming side groups, you take the number of carbons in the side group and add the suffix -yl. So to name the molecule, we have 3-methyl trans 4-heptene.
Michael, someone from the North Allegheny branch just called, and they said that they received a compound that was named correctly, but was drawn incorrectly. They told you to fix it right now.
Yeah, you guys should probably fix that.
Ah! Where are the compounds? Michael, I have them! These aren't organic compounds, Dwight, you ignorant anti-catalyst!
For this compound, we know the name, but we don't have a drawing. First, let's start with the base. We have a cyclopentane, which tells us there are 5 carbons in the longest chain, all of the bonds are single bonds, and the prefix cyclo tells us that the longest chain is in the shape of a ring. Next, let's number our carbons. It doesn't matter where you start, since we'll end up with 1 and 2 either way. Then, on 1 carbon, we add a phenyl side group, a benzene ring that is bonded to something else. The other carbon, we add a nitro group, which is NO2. And there you have it, 1 phenyl, 2 nitrocyclopentane.
Okay guys, so we correctly named, drew, and shipped all of the compounds to the branches that we need to, so our branch got a bonus. Thing is, I spent most of the money from the bonus on this really cool swinging chair. So I only have enough money left for one person.
Fight to the death! Choose your weapon! I choose atomic bomb.
Or we could just have the person who does their job better win the raise.
Jim, you know I do better than you every single time.
Yes, whoever can get the most functional groups right gets the raise.
Now it's time for the functional group showdown. Here's the first compound we have. The first thing we should do to see which functional group is in this compound is draw it out. Jim drew it wrong, while Dwight drew it correctly. The box area shows the functional group. A carbon with an oxygen double bonded and a hydroxyl is a carboxylic acid. Dwight wins this round. Dwight drew this compound wrong while Jim drew it right. A hydroxyl single bonded to a carbon shows it is an alcohol, so Jim wins this round. Here's our next compound. This one, Jim drew it right, but named it wrong. An oxygen single bonded to 2 carbon chains is an ether, not an ester. An ester has a double bonded oxygen and a single bonded oxygen between 2 chains. And Dwight drew it wrong but named it correctly. Since we have a tie, now it's time for our sudden death round, toluene. First, let's start off with drawing a toluene. Essentially, it's a benzene ring with a methyl group off of it. Here, Jim made the common mistake of numbering the carbons. With toluene, we identify positions differently. Dwight did it correctly by labeling the 2 closest to the top ortho, designated by a lowercase sigma, middle one's meta with a lowercase m, and the one at the bottom para, defined by a Greek rho, but written like a lowercase p.
Yeah, so with the bonus that I rightfully earned, I went to the local grocery store and bought me enough sustenance to last me through the whole winter. And it was only $2, so what did I do with the rest of the money? I bought a bazooka.